Ladies and gents, boys and girls, happy Wednesday, happy hump day. Hope you're all doing well. Chris Phillips here of the Daily Crow, the Spurs Up Show. Appreciate you all tuning in. I see Cody Gaskins is in here bright and early. What's going on, my friend? Happy Wednesday to you indeed. Hope you're having a fantastic afternoon. And for those who might care, which would include yours truly, it is Masters Wednesday, which means the par 3 tournament is upcoming. I've actually got the coverage on in the studio. Of course, we got the golf rolling. It's also game day for South Carolina baseball as the Gamecocks travel to Charlotte to take on the North Carolina Tar Heels. But again, guys, appreciate you all tuning in. Thank you all so much for your continued love and support. Got a lot to get into. And again, I do want to hear from you. That number, of course, 843-790-3377. That is 843-790-3377. Elizabeth Ballard, Travis Allen, Chase Youngblood, Travi, Christian Mono. What's going on? Appreciate you all tuning in. Very excited to chat with you all here on this Wednesday. Again, guys, lots to dive into, lots to get into. Your questions, your comments, your calls. We're also live tonight at Tin Roof. So again, whatever you guys want to dive into, we can do so. Like I said, guys, I've got the par 3 tournament on right now in the studio. So again, if you want, hey, you want to talk some golf, I've actually got to put my picks in tonight I'm in 2 pools. I've got to put my picks in tonight for who I'm taking for the weekend for the Masters. So again, if you guys have any suggestions, by the way, let me know. I'm trying to win some money. Why not? Again, appreciate you all tuning in. My guy, Brendan M., what's going on? By the way, guys, quick reminder, big podcast that dropped this morning. Huge podcast. As I told you guys before, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That's the new release schedule. And I told you guys, hey, interviews are going to come back. Interviews are going to come back, right? Interviews are going to come back. And folks, they return today in a very, very, very big way with Gamecocks quarterback Luke Doty on today's show. Really exciting stuff. So again, be sure to check that out. It dropped this morning. iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, anywhere you get your podcasts, that's where you can find it. Again, we have a full breakdown of the game tonight, of course, in Charlotte, North Carolina, but also that conversation, that interview with Luke Doty. And I want to shout out really quickly the Hidden City Music Festival guys, because they're really the ones behind the scenes that collabed this thing, that made this thing happen. So again, really, really appreciative of those guys. I want to thank them so much for even getting in contact with and reaching out to Luke Doty and getting in contact with me and collabing us and all that good stuff. So again, really, really awesome stuff, guys. About a 30 or 40-minute conversation with Luke Doty. Be sure to check that out. It dropped this morning. Like I said, we've got it on in the studio. The par 3 contest, which is set to begin at Augusta National here, I would assume, in the next couple of minutes or so, whatever. Thomas Walker said, did you happen to notice that Davis was in a non-contact jersey in the scrimmage pictures? I thought that was strange. Which Davis? Braden Davis? Because the pictures I saw was he was in a normal jersey. I guess it depends on which Davis you're talking about. But, I mean, Thomas, I love, again, I know football moves the needle. It absolutely does. I'm not going to over-dissect and over-analyze how they decide to operate in spring ball. I mean, here's the reality of it, guys. I'm excited for the spring game. You're excited for the spring game. We're all excited for the spring game. But as I've said many times, and I'll say it again, the spring game, it's a celebration for fans. I think that's probably why spring games, I think the reason, honestly, spring games even existed ever, they ever started to exist. I mean, guys, let's call it for what it is, right? Thomas Walker said, it says not in a non-contact. Thomas, I don't know. Are you talking Braden Davis again? Because I saw his Instagram, and I thought the jersey looked as normal as everybody else's. I don't know. And I also saw film of him literally running, and he was live. So I don't know, my guy. I don't know. Anyways, but you think about it. You think about it. I mean, it's a business. It's a business, right? It's a business. The spring game is really just like a big advertisement for people to, for the program to advertise itself to the fan base of, hey, this is what we've got this year. buy tickets, buy your season tickets, come support us this fall. I mean, that's kind of what it is, right? That's sort of what it's for. I mean, really, that's what it is. And it's more so for fans, again, to get a look at guys and
call from
Brian Miller, aka Young Savage.
And be fired up and be excited. All
to
that good stuff.
accept, press 1.
Young Savage, what's up, man? How are you?
How you doing? I have been good. How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. Just having a Wednesday over here. What's going on?
Me too. I had a good Wednesday. I had a good birthday last month. I'm 22 now, and it feels good to be 22. Last month it was very good. I'm happy.
Very nice. I'd love to hear it.
Yeah, I need to ask you some information to fill something in. So
Okay.
So I heard, yeah, Matthew. I'm not friends with Matthew Becker anymore. So at the end of the day, because he's in his films. He's in his films all the time. Every season I look on that because I gotta support him 24/7. And to be honest, and on top of that, because he ain't all that. And I'm.
All right, my guy. Young Savage, I appreciate you, my dude. This is let me just call a spade here, my dude. This is not the Daily Crow phone lines is not for you to call and diss on any Gamecock student athlete because you and him aren't friends anymore. Like this isn't therapy hour for you, my guy. No offense. No offense. You yeah, that's not what this is for. So if you and Matthew Becker got some beef or whatever, or you guys aren't friends anymore, then so be it. But I if you want to talk ball, we can talk ball. But this really isn't like, this isn't really like a place to diss on a kid because y'all aren't friends anymore and saying he's like sensitive and like again, it's just no need for it. Anyways, here we go. Oh, yeah, okay, I got you, Thomas, yeah. Braden Davis was most certainly not in a non-contact jersey. I guess the others were. I guess the others were. I don't know. Apparently, Beamer said that the quarterbacks wanted to be live. So, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I have no idea. I have no idea why he was in a regular jersey. I don't know, man. I don't know. He wanted to scramble. He wanted to take off. Like I said, I have no idea. I have no clue. Either way, okay. See, Thomas, you got me all confused, and we just had a conversation about nothing. All good though. No, I got confused. That's my bad. Let's see. Nick Renfro, I wish they would start playing other teams through the SEC as far as spring games instead of just playing yourself. Nick, do you really want that? Do you really want that, Nick? As if SEC fans aren't crazy enough, as if we aren't all crazy enough. You want Carolina, Georgia to scrimmage in the spring? Really? And you know what? Coaches would never do that. They would never do that. They would never do that because, bro, they're already so anal about coaches, finding out their game plan and, like there's no way they would ever do that. No chance. Absolutely. And listen, I think it's silly. Like, I love my football guys. I see my dude Eric Sullivan tuned in. But I'm a baseball guy for sure. I mean, listen, love football, whatever, football guy to an extent. But my football guys, my guys that played football, I just, to me, it's silly, like how anal coaches are. Like we got to close every practice, and there's spies out there. Bro, it's a slant. Like it's a normal play. Like, what grand scheme, master game plan do you have that going out to a spring practice is going to reveal? You know what I mean? It's funny like how like private they are and they don't, they don't want to reveal it. It's weird to a degree. Either way, whatever, but it would never happen. It would just never happen. And the last thing I want is for fans to be trying to trash talk over a spring scrimmage, a game that literally does not count. Like, who gives a shit, bro? Who gives a damn? So yeah, Yeah, okay. Getting off the topic. Beamer said quarterbacks that haven't played in a college game yet were live. Okay, that is why. Moving on. Panic Ritter, of course, sticking to his guns, is in the chat panicking. He is panicking. He said, let's see what Panic Ritter, let's just go through this. Better not pitch Gilly Gilly or Coin. They are not good. Gilly Gilly, Coin, Esposito, they have terrible numbers. Like if you want to win, you pitch your better arms. What better arms, Ritter? Austin Greer makes a good point. What better arms? Who do we have? Who do we have that we're not throwing? Who do we have that we're not throwing, Ritter? Who? In the midweek especially. Like somebody has to pitch. You can't pitch the same guy every game. Somebody has to pitch. Somebody's got to pitch. So tonight, guess what? Gilly Gilly's probably going to see the mound. Esposito, probably going to see the mound. Coin, probably going to see the mound. We don't have anybody else. We don't have anybody else, Ritter. And that's the unfortunate part. We just don't have anybody else. Again, guys, would love to take your questions, comments, calls, 843-790-3377. Again, to Young Savage, Young B, whatever your nickname is, who called in earlier. Again, guys, I'm all for banter and whatever, but I don't know. I don't think this is really a place for people to call in and vent their personal relationships with people, and especially when they're Gamecock student athletes. Like Young Savage, no offense, my guy, but like if you with Matthew Becker aren't friends anymore, I don't care. You know what I mean? And this isn't a diary. This is, and no disrespect to you, my guy. Maybe you didn't know, but I just don't really think this is the space to air out personal business. You know what I mean? So if you want to say Matthew Becker sucks and this guy sucks and this guy's this, that's totally fine. But the whole yeah, he's sensitive. We're not buddies anymore. It's not really the place for it, my guy. Call your mom, call your dad, call your buddy. I don't know. Don't call me though. Savannah Webster, is anybody expected Bosnian to be out this long? No, nobody expected to be out this long. And I tell you this, the longer it goes, the more likely I think it is that he does not pitch this year. He's been out this long. To me, it becomes more and more likely he doesn't pitch this year. By the way, the par 3 contest at the U.S. National is in a weather delay. Beautiful. We'd love to see that. Nick Renfro, do you think they need to move Cade Austin to the midweek starter? Is he strictly a bullpen arm? I mean, you need him in the pen. You need him in the pen. And guys, listen, I'll say this. Tonight, I don't know if you guys realize this. Tonight in Charlotte marks the official halfway point of the season. And baseball is a very statistically driven game, right? It is. We rely on the stats in baseball as heavily, if not more heavily, than any other sport. And so, again, tonight's midweek contest in Charlotte, it's a 56-game season. This is game 28. And you know the old saying, men lie, women lie. And a lot of times, numbers do lie. But I think with this Gamecocks baseball team, the numbers don't lie, right? You are who you are. You're hitting 261 overall as a team, and you have a 5.38 ERA overall as a team. And both of those numbers are near the bottom or at the bottom of the SEC. Oh, guys, it gets even worse when you talk SEC games specifically. And I know this is only 9 games, but as small of a sample size as 9 games is, it's not that small. I mean, 9 games is 9 games. And you're 3-6 in conference play. Guys, you are hitting 202 in SEC play. 202, which is easily the worst mark. And it hasn't been any better on the mound. A 6.57 ERA in SEC play. I would love to sit here today at virtually the halfway point of the season and tell you the second half is going to be a lot better than the first half. I would love to sit here and tell you and try to convince you for the next hour or so why Gamecocks baseball is going to rebound and going to improve and we're going to get better. Right now, guys, I just don't see it. I think for the next 28 games, 29 counting tonight, I think it's just going to be a long road ahead. I think you are who you are. You don't have the arms. You're painfully inconsistent swinging the stick yet again. Right now, I'd project this team will miss the postseason. And if that all happens, South Carolina should be looking for a new head baseball coach. Because it's a disturbing trend across the board. I don't care about injuries. I don't care about who's out, who's not, whatever. I don't care. There's been so much smoke around Mark Kingston. There's been so much smoke. And again, we're not talking from fans. We're talking from the greatest players to ever wear the jersey. There's been so much smoke around why Mark Kingston is not a good baseball coach, why Mark Kingston is not fit to lead the Carolina baseball program, why Mark Kingston will never be the coach to get us back to Omaha. And I'm not sitting here today on this April the 6th starting my Fire Kingston campaign, but I am making the point that the legends of Carolina baseball, as I've said before, they are talking. They are talking. And when you factor all that in, plus the lack of results on the field, plus these disgusting statistics that have followed us over the last couple of years, I think it's going to be a long second half of the season. I think there'll be moments of brilliance, but it's going to be a long second half of the season. And I think when the dust settles, it will be time to pull the trigger. I think it will be time to begin the repairing process, begin the healing process of getting Carolina baseball back, or even remotely close to back to where it rightfully belongs and what we all know it as. So again, I wish I could sit here and tell you guys that, oh yeah, well, tonight's going to serve as a spark and this and that. We're going to do this. I just don't see it. Who? I'm not saying you don't have any good baseball players, but who? You just don't have the guys. You don't have dudes. You don't. You just don't have dudes. And Austin, I looked up the stats, my man, way before you sent me any screenshots or anything, my dude. I was talking to somebody about this last night, about our statistics and all that. So no, I'm not using the stats you sent me, my guy. I'm really not. I will say this. I don't know that Kingston was lying about the injury. I think the injury was worse than it was expected. I mean, from what I heard. I mean, again, this is from what I heard from behind the scenes. So I don't know that he was lying about it. Let me ask you this, Austin. What in football, I guess it makes sense. Gamesmanship, teams had a game plan. In baseball, what advantage is it to lie about an injury? I mean, what does he gain about lying about Julian Bosnick's status? Will, it's sad for the baseball team. We just got to make it through the season and hope for the best. Got to still support them. I mean, Will, I hear you. I mean, I guess it's the job of the fan to be blindly loyal. But the beautiful thing about my vantage point is I can tell you if they suck or not. I can tell you if we suck. So, and top to bottom, we suck. Right now, we suck. That's it. But top to bottom, we suck. You can't even debate me. You can't deny it. Even if you had Julian Bosnick, you think one guy is going to change all those numbers I just mentioned? You're still hitting 202 in SEC play. So what difference would Julian Bosnick have made? Maybe a win or two? Maybe a win or two. Thomas Walker says, I'm not a big baseball guy, but isn't it almost harder to hit against lower level pitchers that maybe we aren't used to seeing, lower speed, more move? Yeah, Thomas, I mean, it's an adjustment. Other teams do it, though. Other teams make the adjustment. I mean, I get what you're saying, Thomas. I don't disagree with you. But you're an SEC baseball player. You should be able to make the adjustment. You got to make the adjustment. If you can't make an adjustment, you're not playing past college. You're just not. Jason says, can colleges recruit in the Dominican Republic or Cuba? I'm sure they can. I think they can for sure. I mean, most of those guys, though, that are like literally on the island, they ain't thinking about college, my guy. They're trying to go to the big leagues. Yes, DGD, Marshawn Lloyd is healthy. Yes, he is healthy. Yep, 100% healthy. Fire Tanner first. I hear you. Savannah Webster, I'm not an expert on baseball, but can any team survive losing 5 to 6 pitchers in one season? Savannah, most could not. No, most could not. But again, Savannah, again, give me all those pitchers back. Record's better, but you still can't hit. You still can't hit. Well, Austin says, just think he wasn't transparent to the media or to fans about realistic expectations, about the injury. I wouldn't say he was lying, but just wish he was more transparent. I will say this, Austin, because we feel as fans like we deserve to know. I can tell you this: the coaches, I think behind closed doors in their minds, like, I don't owe the fans anything. We don't have to tell them anything. We don't have to be honest. You know what I mean? I mean, that's why Muschamp did what he did, guys. That's every coach lies about injuries. They don't dish everything. They don't detail everything. You know. So, again, guys, I wish I could sit here and tell you why I think it's going to get better, and we're going to turn a corner. Until I see it, I just don't believe it. Until I see it, I don't believe it. Nope. Until I see it, I just simply don't believe it. And I hate to say it. And I hate to say it, but I just. Bradicate 4-3. Couldn't hit water if they fell out of a boat. I hear you, my guy. Again, 843-790-3377, guys. That's 843-790-3377. Travis Allen, I got your text, my guy. Thank you so much for sending that. Yeah, the slap dick hats. Very, very funny indeed. Anyways, taking your questions, comments, calls, guys. 843-790-3377. Like I said, huge podcast that dropped this morning. Luke Doty, Gamecocks quarterback, joining the show. If you have not listened to it yet, definitely be sure to check that out. Really, really good stuff with Luke Doty. Austin Greer, do we even know what's going on with Bosnick, though? Has Kingston given us an update since he said he'd be back from Mizzou? I don't know that Kingston ever said that. I think we were assuming that, and what we heard behind closed doors was he'd be back. Austin, I don't know, man. I don't know, Austin. I don't know that he's really given us a solid update. I don't know, my guy. I don't know. So it's just frustrating, man. It's frustrating because, again, it's game day, and I should be excited for tonight's game. And by the way, guys, we will be live at Tin Roof tonight. I'll go live at 6 o'clock. We'll go to about 7:15 or so, and then I'll probably wrap it up, and we'll watch the game at Tin Roof. I'm probably going to watch the majority of the game at Tin Roof. Next podcast will drop on Friday, so I will touch on what happens in the game tonight on the podcast on Friday. And, of course, guys, we'll talk about it on the Daily Crow tomorrow and all that good stuff. But, yeah, again, in case you missed it, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, that's the new podcast release schedule. The Daily Crow, Monday through Friday, noon to 2, as you all already know. Phil, what's going on, my guy? Appreciate you tuning in. Phil, I know Phil's fired up for the Masters this week. I know Phil is fired up for the Masters. Love to see it. And I tell you this, Phil, before you comment anything, my guy, I feel like, Phil, Phil, I don't feel like Phil should be able to diss any other sport or belittle another sport. I mean, Phil, you literally call in and talk rugby. So, you want us all to respect rugby, you need to respect golf. You need to respect the biggest golf tournament of the year. That's all I'm saying. Phil. Hey, mutual respect. Let's have mutual respect, Phil. Courtney Washington, the most frustrating thing about baseball is that we have Omaha potential, but we've seen her not be able to maintain consistency. Courtney, we beat Vandy, Texas. This team doesn't have Omaha potential, man. This isn't an Omaha club. Listen, consistency is what makes a good team. champ Packers. Anyways, consistency is what makes a good team. Anybody can pull something out of their ass and win a game here and there. But that's what, Courtney, that's why baseball is such a long season, right? Because over the long haul, what type of team you are is revealed. Bottom line, what type of team you are is revealed in the long haul. Okay? You can't skate through it and you can't fake it. You're either good or you're not. Bottom line, you're good or you're not. There's no faking it. There is no faking it over the course of a long season. That is why, again, baseball is so long. Cade says, why do you have so little subscribers? Your content is so consistent and good. Cade, well, I mean, Cade, I guess I'll take the compliment. We do well on social media. YouTube, the subscribers are a little bit lower. I don't know, Cade. What's funny, man, I don't worry about subscribers and likes and followers as much as you'd probably think somebody like me do. I mean, again, of course, I check it and all that, but I would probably just say, Cade, because our content is housed so heavily on social media, that's where most folks go to check everything out. YouTube is a great supplementary, entity, if you will, outlet. It's not our main source, though, of, hey, this is to check out our content, go to YouTube. You know what I mean? To check out our content, go to YouTube. It's not the first place, right? I mean, I think if you asked anybody in this chat, I don't think it's a disrespectful thing, but I think if you ask anybody in the chat, YouTube probably isn't the first place. Probably isn't the first place you go. Isn't the first place you go check out stuff. So, anyways, I appreciate the compliment, my guy. Austin Greer says, so you're cutting back on the baseball content if we continue to disappoint. That's the impression I got from the pod. Well, Austin, I'll say this. I'm not going to stop covering baseball. I'll get to that in a second, actually. Scott Jackson. What's up, man?
What's up, buddy? I'm Derek Nex, head baseball coach for the University of South Carolina.
I hear you. What's up, man? How you doing?
Good. You going tonight?
No, I'll be at Tin Roof. No, it's I'll be honest with you. I wasn't planning on going either way, even if it was last night. Dude, it's just, unfortunately, winning matters, and, gas ain't free and the trip ain't free. And, I just, you got to make a decision. And I'm like, would I rather drive up there or do my show at Tin Roof? And I'm going to do the show at Tin Roof, my guy. We'll watch the game, all that good stuff. But, is what it is. So
got some stats for you.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
STC play.
Mm-hmm.
We're batting 202.
Mm-hmm.
We rate dead last. Runs scored. We scored 35 runs. We rate dead last.
Mm-hmm.
Doubles. We had 11 doubles, and actually we're tied for 14th. Hits. We had 57, and we're dead last. Bucket percentage, dead last. On base percentage, 282, dead last. Runs, RBIs, dead last. Home runs, tied for 8.
Yeah. I mean, listen, the numbers, you can't always just look at the numbers and say, the stories in the numbers, but the numbers tell the story with this team. I mean, there's a reason you have the record you have there. Hey, you would expect that the team with the worst record in the SEC would be at the bottom practically of every category statistically, and that's where we are. So,
but when you said the numbers in the story don't match, Tennessee is number 4, batting 274. And Georgia's number 1, batting 300.
Right. I mean, I said a lot of the time they don't match. A lot of the time they don't match.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of the time they don't match. But with South Carolina, it makes sense.
So on the batting average, 202 is ours. The next one up is 239. So we're 37.37% average for the next one.
Yeah. And I'll say this again, man. I have not I have not gone on the record of leading the the Fire Kingston train or anything like that. But, you know, I don't know. I can't predict the future, you know, in a sense of I didn't plan on saying fire Muschamp when I did. I didn't plan on saying fire Martin when I did. So who knows? I could wake up tomorrow and be like, you know what? Today's the day. I'm not, but I don't know if you missed it, Skyline, if you just tuned in or whatever. But I talked earlier, you know, about, and I went over the statistics you just brought up. And as much as I would love to sit here, because we're all going to continue to watch, right, and support all that jazz. But as much as I would love to sit here and tell you there's reasons for optimism and we're gonna turn a corner and turn it around and do, I just don't see it. Because like you've mentioned, even if you bring back Bosnick, even if you had him right now, you're still hitting .202 in the league. I mean, how much better would you be right now if Bosnick would have never got hurt? I mean, maybe you've won a couple more games, but when the dust settles, you're still going to be – I mean, this is a bad baseball team. It just is. And I know we've won some big series. But again, that's the reason baseball is a long season, because the truth will come out eventually. And I just think, unfortunately, you know, we're going to win a couple more series before it's over with. I do. I think we will. But we're probably 11-19 club in SEC play, 12-18 probably at best. I mean, at this point, again, baseball, anything can happen. I just don't see it, though, because I don't know if you realize this again, Skyland. Tonight serves as the halfway point of the year. And if we lose, we will be 13-15 at the halfway point.
I think, Chris.
I just don't know how. I don't know how. Like, there's having an off season, and then there's just being pathetically bad. And I'm sorry, but having a losing record, hell, being 500 at the halfway point is pathetically bad. It's pathetic, man. It's pathetic. It's pathetic. So,
let me ask you this. When you have players on the team that are telling you they're not going to pitch, and they're telling you what they're going to do and not going to do, how does that make you feel?
Say that again, Scott. Sorry.
Do you know who I'm talking about?
No, what did you say again? Sorry, I spaced out for a moment.
There's just one player just saying he's not going to pitch, but he continues to play the field, but tells them that he's not. He came here to be a hitter and not a pitcher.
Oh, I mean, I can connect the dots of probably who that is.
Hey, text me the name as you speak, so I can confirm it. I'm not about to go in here and best no college athlete, but
right.
He got hurt, and now he's playing that. Now he's playing the outfield, and you're telling me that he's still hurt, but he can play the outfield and throw balls 325 feet from the wall into the infield.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah. Well, anyways, like I said, man, it's it's just we got 28 more games, and it's just I think it's gonna be a long rest of the year, man. 29 counting tonight, but it's gonna be a long rest of the year, man.
I've got a good question for you to sit down and ask people.
Mm-hmm.
If you ever jump on the Fire Kingston train, this will be the question for you and your viewers. If Kingston was to be let go, would you rather have him another year or be let go this year? And the question is, would you allow him another year for the board to get right, for the board members to be cut down, for Ray and the board to get on the same page? So would you take the chance to give him another year so you can get the board and the AD on the same page? Because listen, Ray Tanner gets a lot of the blame. Mm-hmm. But how much say so does Ray Tanner have? Who knows? The board has their neck into athletics way too far than they should be. Mm-hmm. So if you cut down the board to 11 people the way they're talking about, and Ray and the board gets on the same page, do you believe that a right hire would be made then, or would you take the chance and let the 21 people in Ray pick another coach this year?
I don't know, man. Listen, I'm not. There's a reason I do a podcast for a living, man. I'm not making those decisions. I've said what I said, man. I don't really give two shits about the whole board deal. That's whatever. I know they got problems. I mean, listen, University of South Carolina is just a big dysfunctional shit. That's what it feels like.
It is always a shit show for sure. They can't get nothing right.
It's I mean, thank God they're taking action, I guess, to fix things. But God, it's just how hard is it to be an adult, bro? How hard is it to be an adult in the building? Anyways,
right.
I've said what I've said, man. You missed the postseason. I think Mark Kingston should be gone. I do. I just there's enough smoke behind closed doors with the greatest who ever played the game at South Carolina that I'm sorry, man, but and guys that literally played for him last year that are on record of he ain't the guy. Like, bro, that's enough for me. I'm sorry, that's enough. That's enough for me. Maybe Gamecock fans will start to understand where I come from a little bit more with this situation, because people have felt some type of way about me being very blunt and honest for things about players and coaches. I love Carolina baseball more than I like Mark Kingston. I love South Carolina athletics more than I like any individual coach or any individual player. You see what I'm saying? So I'm going to support this team throughout the rest of the year, but I don't give a rat's ass about Mark Kingston is just a dude, man. He's just a dude who has found good fortune to have our job. I mean, really, he's a blessed man. He gets to wake up and be the head baseball coach at South Carolina every day. At the end of the day, man, there's set standards and expectations, and boy, you ain't just falling short of expectations. I mean, again, the program is in poverty right now. It is. It's a joke. It's a laughing stock. And I feel for the players on this current team. They got to sort of deal with the brunt of it all. But I mean, dude, it's pathetic. It's pathetic. People don't even want to talk baseball, bro. They don't even want to talk baseball right now. They don't even want to talk baseball because it's so bad. And I can't blame them.
I'll tell you one thing. I know you have more people messaging you and DMing you player-wise than I ever have or will, but you have seen some of the stuff I've got. I wish there was a way we can combine our stuff and make it where you never know who said it to protect their identity, but at least let the viewers or the public know what former players are saying without revealing their identity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, yeah, I've thought about it. I've thought about it for sure.
If you want more screenshots of the moms or dads in my inbox or the former players I've talked to, I'll be glad to give them to you.
Yeah.
Well, I think you got most of them.
Yeah.
Anyway, do you think Julian Bosnick is holding out this year to save his draft stock?
Bro, I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, I again, the longer it goes, I think the more likely it is he doesn't pitch again this year. I'm sure his draft stock is on. I'm sure his draft stock is on the top of his mind, though. Yeah.
He's not coming back.
Right.
He's talking about it will be mid-May before he can come back now. So.
Mm-hmm.
So I doubt he's coming back.
Yeah. Yep.
Anyway, can I get a score projection tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I've already put it out 9-4. Yeah, I've got 9-4 UNC. Yeah.
Okay. I'll talk a little bit about this weekend before I go. I think Georgia's a great ball club. They hit the ball, but the Gamecocks do seem to play well at home. They just do. There's something about Founders Park that makes it click for the Gamecocks. And, South Carolina always, this year especially to me, they found luck in having their hitting streaks, especially a game or two hitting streaks at home, especially versus Texas and Vanderbilt.
Mm-hmm.
it is the Gamecock way to go out here and beat Georgia this weekend, 2 out of 3. But Georgia's coming off the sweep versus Florida. If I had to say, I think the Dogs beat the Gamecocks 2 out of 3 because you always got to give Will Sanders credit. You just can't come into a series and say, we're just going to get swept.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do it because of Will Sanders. You got to give the man some love.
Mm-hmm.
But don't put it past the Gamecocks to go take 2 out of 3 this weekend.
Right.
It's just the Gamecock way. But on paper, giving Will Sanders his credit, I got the Dogs taking 2 out of 3. But don't put it past the Gamecocks to take 2 or 3 this weekend.
Yeah. Very well said. Very well said. Skyline, I appreciate the call, my guy. Good stuff. I'm sure we'll talk again before this weekend.
All right. Pleasure.
So, all right, brother. Take care. Good stuff. Again, 843-790-3337. Some guys, it's 843-790-3377. 100% true on YouTube says your beard game on point, bro. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Game, respect, game when it comes to the beard, I guess. Guys, we're going to jump into a quick break, but I want to continue to hear from you, more of your questions, comments, calls, and more on the other side. You're tuned in to the Daily Crow. All right, guys, we're back. Taking your questions, comments, calls, 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Back to something that Austin said earlier, and I mentioned this, guys, on the podcast that dropped today about content moving forward. And Austin had asked about, if the season continues to be porous, will I just stop talking baseball? I'm not going to stop covering the baseball season. I mean, listen, I love baseball. I'm a baseball guy. Like, I'm not going to stop previewing the games and the series and, all that good stuff, whatever. But I am also someone that is, believes in, give the people what they want. And listen, football moves the needle. I mean, it does. I mean, dude, I posted a freaking, just randomly, because I was talking to a buddy about it. I posted a clip from the Auburn game last year, that insane fourth down call where South kind of stopped them, turnover on downs, and of course Gamecocks won that game. Either way, though, that got like 7,000 views. Again, football just moves the needle. And I love that and get that. So I say all that to say this, if baseball does continue to be porous, if baseball continues to have a nightmarish type season, I'm going to continue to cover baseball on the podcast for sure. I'm not going to force the baseball content down anybody's throat. You know what I mean? Like, because listen, I'm a happy-go-lucky, positive guy. And as badly as I want to talk baseball, I don't really want to dwell on a bad baseball team every day. You know what I mean? So all I'm saying is there might be more football content than there normally is for this time of the year. Let me just put it that way. Tyler Gay, do you think if and when they fire Kingston, do we go after a big-name coach or a legendary former player like a Wingo or Landon Powell? I do not think we will hire like a Scott Wingo, or I don't even think Landon Powell. I mean, listen, I like Landon, legendary Gamecock. Dude, just because he's won at North Greenville, that doesn't mean he's fit for this job. I think we go for a top guy across college baseball right now. I don't think them being an alumni has much to do with it. I don't think being an alumni will have much to do with it. Let's see. Somebody commented earlier. I want to get to this. About Tiger Woods. Somebody commented about Tiger Woods that he doesn't move the needle. He is the needle. True, dude. It's wild. John Kruger, my top 3 receivers, in my opinion, 2022, Van, Rucker, and Wells. I think that's fair, yeah. The 2 transfers and Josh Van. Certainly, the receiver room should be, massively upgraded. Massively upgraded, no doubt. Again, guys, we are here taking your questions, comments, calls, 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Guys, like I said, be sure to check it out. Huge podcast that dropped this morning. Of course, our full game preview of the game tonight. But the highlight of the show, great conversation with Gamecocks quarterback Luke Doty. Great conversation with Gamecocks quarterback Luke Doty. Be sure to check that out. Really, really good stuff. So, let's see. I had a guy, we talked yesterday about the over-under. The over-under being 6 and why I think that's I'll tell you this, guys. Me personally, for football, I would put the over-under at 6.5. If I'm Vegas, I think 6.5 is the perfect number. I think that I think to get even money on both sides, I think 6.5 is a good number. I really do. And I know Gamecock fans, slam the over. Slam the over. You know, again, you look at our schedule, we're going to be the underdog in 6 games at minimum. We might be the underdog in 7. So if you just go off that, if you just go off Vegas, I think 6.5 is about probably where the number is going to end up. I think 6.5 is where the number is going to end up. We'll see. We shall see. Clemson beating Georgia last night in baseball. How about that? Clemson beating Georgia in baseball. Let's jump to the phone lines here.
Call from
Robbie Davis, a.k.a. Kirk Herbstreit.
to accept.
Robbie, what's going on, man? How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you on this Wednesday?
I'm doing well, man. Appreciate you asking. What's going on?
You were just talking about, like people saying, hammer the over and everything. And personally, I'm not a guy that, bets really, especially like I don't bet money. I mostly just, bet food because I still owe one of my bosses a sub from Subway. But I personally, I would be. If I was a betting man, I would take the 6.5. I would, but I'm not. But also, I look at it this way.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to sports, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again. When it comes to sports, one or two things are going to happen. Okay, you are either going to win or you are going to lose. Am I right or wrong?
You are correct, my guy.
And to be honest, I don't care what the projection is for our season. Okay, I don't care. As long as we go out there, take care of business, control what we can control, beat the teams we're supposed to beat, and get to at least 6 games, 6 wins, okay? Because you get the 6 wins, that's a ball game, okay? You get the 6 wins, I will be happy, okay? I don't know about everybody else. Like personally, I like people that think we're gonna go 8-4. I don't honestly. I don't know. I don't know if we'll go 8-4. But the people that think we're gonna win 9 games, they're crazy. Have you looked at our schedule? Our schedule looks it's gonna be a tough one. I honestly consider last year's schedule an easier schedule than the one we have right now.
Yeah, I think that's fair. When you
And we
swap
don't
out,
even
when you
have- we don't
swap
even have
out,
Alabama on the schedule.
when you swap out, yeah, when you swap out Auburn for Arkansas, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think it is a more difficult schedule, no question.
I mean, we beat Auburn we beat Auburn last year. Shocker.
We did beat Auburn. We did.
And I just and also like I've said before, I just want to see us year by year just get better. Okay.
Mhm.
I want to see the team do better this year as a whole, not just on one either side of the ball. I'm talking about as a whole. Okay.
Mhm.
See them better, like see them in an actual game setting
Mhm.
come September, and I want to be able to look at whoever I'm with at the game and be like, we are definitely better than last year.
Mhm.
I don't want to be sitting there with my hands and with my head in my hands going, oh crap, here we go again, trying to build from scratch all over again.
Mhm.
But I honestly don't think that's going to happen. I don't, because of the pieces that we do have and that we've had come in. Plus, Wagner, when he gets done at Oklahoma,
Mhm.
When he
Yeah.
gets done in Oklahoma, he's coming to Columbia. That's the reason why he hasn't came in yet, guys, is because he's finishing up at Oklahoma, in case y'all didn't know. Okay.
Mhm.
And obviously, like I said yesterday, go into the spring game with with no injuries, none. Okay, and
You know we do
when the
have
season
injuries
comes
right now.
around,
You know we do have injuries
yeah,
right now.
we do. Yeah, I know we do.
But nothing severe.
Nothing
I don't think.
serious.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
My
good.
guy, we don't play for
And
5
also
months.
my-
I think
yeah.
everybody's gonna be okay.
Yeah, we still got a while before kickoff. So,
Mhm.
yeah. And I personally also think with I'm switching to baseball now. Okay, so I'm not over your head here. I think if we wind up not making the postseason at all, I wouldn't want it for the guy. Okay,
Mhm.
I'm willing to bet he's probably a great dude, but I wouldn't be surprised if Kingston was let go.
Robbie, why do you think coaches being a good dude or not matters so much? Like, who gives a shit? You know what I mean? Who really cares?
Right.
Like, I don't give a damn.
Like the object, I get it. Okay, he's like you're getting paid to win. Okay. Scratch the fact that he's a great. Like scratch that. You're getting paid to win, and guess what? You're not winning. We lost to Presbyterian. We lost to Citadel. I was kind of torn in two with that one because it was just the head guy over at Citadel. But you are getting paid to win, not get paid to lose. You're getting paid to win. And right now, we suck. We absolutely suck. I've said this to you before, and I'll say it again. I have seen high school baseball teams play better than what I've seen us do this year.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you know it's bad. Okay? It's horrible. We're not used to seeing this, but guess what? Sometimes you hit a niche in the road, and you're either gonna climb your way out of it, or you're stuck in there. And right now we're in a little traffic jam, I guess you could say, with how we play baseball.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been in the traffic jam for a while, and it's not going very well.
Indeed.
And my prediction for tonight is North Carolina 5, South Carolina 3.
5-3 UNC. You think it's going to be a close game?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Fair enough.
I think by some miracle we'll keep it close, but we still won't win.
Gotcha. Keep it close.
But if we do
we'll
win,
not win.
but just so you know, if we do win, I'm going to talk so much junk to my cousin. It's going to be so much fun.
Right.
I will talk
Tanner
so much
Land
shit to
asked,
my
what do
cousin.
we need to do to get out of the traffic jam, Robbie? You got any words of wisdom?
Get your head out of your you know what and focus. That's what you need to do. I'll let you fill in the blank if you know what I mean. Get your head out of your you know what and take care of that dumb business, okay? Start playing for the name on the front of the jersey instead of the name on the back. How does that sound?
I think ass is the word you're looking for. Ass. Head out of your ass.
Yeah, but I wanted to keep it clean.
Yeah. No, I hear you, man. I hear you.
And I don't know yet, but there is a good chance I will be at Tin Roof this evening.
Love to hear that, Robbie. Truly, I love to hear that.
I almost decided not to tell you and then just surprise you out of nowhere, but I was like, you know what, I'm going to tell
Hey, there is a slight chance. The odds they may be in our favor, Robbie, that P-Doc will be at Tin Roof as well.
Let's go.
Indeed.
That's what's up. And I've already made up my mind. I'm getting the loaded tots.
Dude, I'm telling you, the loaded tots are a game changer, bro.
A burger with the loaded tots.
You can't beat it. You just simply can't beat it. You cannot beat it.
Have you tried them Have you tried the loaded tots with chili on them, by the way?
I haven't. Maybe I'll do that tonight.
You should. It's really good. I'm telling you, it's really good.
Maybe I'll do that tonight.
I don't know if you're a chili guy, but I'm just telling you, it's good. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and get off here. I will hopefully see you this evening. And leave the dumb stuff to me, okay?
Sounds good, Robbie. Hey, I appreciate you calling in, my guy. It was a pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Have
man.
a good one.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
You know, I always enjoy talking to Robbie, but I liked having him on because I'm able to just sit over here and just watch golf and just let him go, you know, like the Robbie Davis show. Let Robbie do his thing, and we'll just watch the par 3 tournament over here. Stephanie Lee, what's going on? Appreciate you tuning in. Luke Boyd says, local boy Kevin Kisner to win the Masters 2022. That'd be awesome. Tanner Land says, Robbie, if I was the athletic director, I swear I'd hire you to do something. I don't know what it would be, but I would find something for you. That'd be awesome, yeah. Austin Greer says, Dutch Fork would kick our ass right now. I agree with the caller. Oh, Gamecock baseball's reached such a fun place. Alex Anstead, who I think is the new social media guy. Yeah, he's the manager of content for Saturday Down South. He dropped his best color schemes for SEC teams. Ranked his best color schemes. Okay. For all 14 teams. This is the list. Number 1, he's got the Florida Gators. Again, this is color schemes. I mean, literally, this is the peak of off-season content for football. Best color schemes. Florida, number 1. LSU, 2. Ole Miss, 3. Tennessee, 4. Auburn, 5. Vandy, 6. Georgia, 7. Kentucky, 8. South Carolina, 9. Arkansas, 10. Mizzou, 11. Bama, 12. A&M, 13. And Mississippi State, 14. Like, tell me, so 9 through 14, 5 of those 6 teams are teams that have basically garnet, some variation of a garnet shade. Tell me you hate the color garnet without telling me that you hate the color garnet. Truly. Let's go back here, guys, in the Big Cock Club Discord, the TDC Questions channel. I apologize, guys, for getting to these questions late, but Brennan M says, not playing Georgia in the spring game, but wouldn't you be more fired up to play a local school in a spring game? Josh Pate's been saying this idea for a while. You know, Brennan, I hear you to a degree. I hear you. But again, I just, and Brian Lattimore responds with this. Bad part about playing another team is less players get quality reps. Plus, the spring game is not supposed to be a win-lose situation. It's supposed to simulate a game experience. I don't think it's a good idea. I tend to agree with you, Brian. I mean, again, the spring game is meant to be an opportunity for young players to play. It's not supposed to be the intensity of a freaking game in the fall. It's not. It's a glorified scrimmage, but that's what it's supposed to be. That's what it's supposed to be. So I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan. How about this? So there wasn't a par 3 contest last year. I didn't realize that. No player has won the par 3 in the Masters in the same year. Isn't that wild? You got to think at some point that changes, right? You've got to think at some point that changes. But it's almost now, it's like nobody wants to win the par 3. Because it's like if you win the par 3, well, that would be a really cool trophy to have, though. You know what I mean? Like these PGA Tour pros, like, you know, just to be showing off your trophy case. And it's like, you know, it's like you have the par 3 contest trophy. That'd be cool. I think that'd be cool, personally. Let's see. T-Noel28 says, this team has way too much talent to only win 6 games. The wide receiver room is completely revamped. You have a pretty good quarterback in Rattler. We'll have a healthy Doty. The running back room is reloaded. The defense is going to be extremely good again. 8-4 is extremely realistic. And T-Noel, I think 8-4 is realistic. I think it is. But again, why I was so taken aback by fans dissing my hypothetical of, hey, I'll give you 8-4, sign the dotted line, or you could roll the dice. The amount of people that wanted to roll the dice, because I get what you're saying, man. We've added pieces. So has everyone else. So is everybody else. And T. Noel, as much as we've added, I think we're closer to being a 7-5 team than we are a 9-3 team. Realistically. Right? Because there's still question marks. I mean, even with the guys you've added, there's question marks. You know, you have a new quarterback. You know, these receivers you've added, hey, they're going to be transitioned to SEC football, right? Are they going to be all conference guys? I mean, I don't think you can expect that much out of them. You know, my biggest thing is the defense. I'll tell you this, or just one of my biggest things. I expect the defense to play well. I do, and I trust Clayton White. I'm a huge Clayton White fan, huge fan of Torian Gray and Jimmy Lindsey and the entire defensive staff. Will the defense be as good as it was last year? Right. And, you know, you lose a Jalen Foster. That's a big deal, guys. I think we're just all assuming, oh, well, the defense is going to be elite. Is it, though? Is it? You know, you couldn't stop the run last year. And really, your defense made a living off of forcing turnovers. That was your bread and butter. That was your saving grace a lot of the time. So while I'm a believer in Clayton White, I'm a believer in what they're doing defensively, I don't want to use the phrase smoke and mirrors, but it almost kind of reminds me of 2017, where it was like, we were elite defensively because we forced so many turnovers. If we're not getting those turnovers at that type of rate, are we still going to be to the level defensively we need to be at? You see what I'm saying? So we'll see. Tyler Noel says Satterfield's still the OC as well. That's my main question mark. The players are much better. Can Marcus dial it up for a whole season? Well, Tyler, again, I think having Spencer Rattler a quarterback, I think that should certainly help you. I think that listen, I don't think Satterfield was great last year, but I don't think people gave enough credit to what we were dealing with in regards to personnel. I mean, again, nobody wants to blame the players and all that. So nobody wants to blame the players, man, but it was, you know, it wasn't just on the OC, man. Personnel, just personnel, Jimmy's and Joe's. Again, guys, we're rocking, we're rolling here on this Wednesday. Want to continue to hear from you. We're going to jump into a quick break. More of your questions, your comments, your calls, and more on the other side. You're tuned in to the Daily Crow. All right, guys, we're back taking your questions, comments, calls. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Again, guys, quick reminder, podcast did drop this morning. Episode 633. Episode 633. Full breakdown of the game tonight. And, of course, Luke Doty. Gamecocks quarterback. Luke Doty, Gamecocks quarterback. On the show. Travis Allen says, Chris, do you think 24-25 win saves Kingston? Personally, I don't think we get to 20. Travis, on no planet will 24-25 wins be good enough. And my guy, I know we've had a bad year. But not even reaching 20 wins, my dude, I mean, he shouldn't even remotely have a chance to come back. So again, guys, we are here taking your questions, comments, calls. 843-790 3377. 843-790-3377. You guys are a rambunctious bunch today for sure. Again, we got the Masters on also, the par 3. Also, guys, we are live at 10 Roof tonight, 6 until, we'll say, first pitch. I will go live at 6 o'clock. But, yeah, we will wrap it up before the game starts. By the way, how about opening day tomorrow? Again, guys, the month of April is a fantastic sports month. Fantastic sports month in April. So, again, guys, my predictions out also. I do have UNC getting the win tonight, 9-4. Eli Jones getting his second start. He's on the bump for the Gamecocks tonight. Again, guys, as I told you earlier, I'd love to tell you that I have reason to believe that things are going to turn around and we're going to turn a corner and get better. And I just, unfortunately, guys, I just don't see it, man. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. I don't know what reason. I don't know what reason I have. I don't have any reason. Don't have any reason to believe that things are going to improve. Robbie Davis says, to answer the question, I've experienced in being a water boy for the football team at Branchville, and I was also the water boy for the girls basketball team at Branchville. Very nice, Robbie. Very nice. Very, very nice. Again, guys, Travis Allen, 30-mile-an-hour wind should make Saturday interesting in Augusta. Yeah, that'll dry out the greens too, so that course will play fast. Again, guys, I'm a big Masters guy. Love it. Obviously, from the area, man. If I had tickets, I'd be going down there in a freaking heartbeat. But you know, those tickets are like gold; they're hard to get. So those tickets are like gold. So, oh well. Oh well. Oh well. Let's see. Again, you guys are a quiet bunch today. Not a whole lot going on, I guess. I guess this is what this baseball program has done to everybody. Everybody's just like, nah, screw it. Gamecock sports are over till football season. Which, you know, again, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. As much as I hate to say it, I don't blame you. You know, just tough. It's just tough, man. As I said yesterday, I posted the clip. It's just tough being a Gamecock fan right now. I mean, I the women's basketball national championship was great. It was awesome. But the success or lack thereof in the men's sports is just making it really hard. So, luckily, I'm able to separate, my personal life, if you will, from the Gamecocks, and my happiness isn't dictated on does South going to win or lose a game, what have you. But yeah. By the way, guys, I've been getting this question a lot. So let me go ahead and put this out there. The spring game is free. Okay. Spring game is free. You don't need tickets. It's literally just show up and go in. The amount of people, and I guess USC hasn't done a great job of promoting it, to be totally honest with you. So shame on them. I guess we could say shame on them. But yeah, spring game's free. So in case you're wondering, the spring game is free. Austin Greer, since the chat and calls are quiet today, top 3 favorite Gamecock players of all time. I would go Connor Shaw, Justin Smoke, and I mean, if I'm going to go basketball to hit the trifecta, I'll go Ronaldo Balkman. Yeah. Those would be my top 3. So, I mean, heck, we could just call the daily. Should we start there will come a time, I will say this. I don't know if maybe I should start it now either. I mean, at some point the Daily Crow is going to go back to 12 to 1, during the quote unquote off season. Like for example, over the summer, the Daily Crow will go back 12 to 1. It won't be 12 to 2 anymore, just because there's not nearly as much to talk about. David Garrick says, even if it's 6.5, I'm betting the over playing with house money from last year. I hear you. Yeah. I mean, that over under last year was just disrespectful, bro. The 3.5 or whatever, the 3.5. That was ridiculous. I mean, that was ridiculous, man. That was absolutely ridiculous. All the players got their kids out there and stuff. Love to see it. Love to see it. Aaron Hodges says it. Bradley, Jeffrey, Lucas. Who is Lucas? Austin, yeah, not much to talk about when yeah, I hear you. Your baseball team's worse than the SEC. No, I mean, it's baffling, my guy. It is. It's baffling. I mean, when you've got people on social media that are literally saying, well, good chance it gets rained out tonight. That's the best possible outcome for us. Like when you've got people hoping we get rained out, that tells you a lot. That tells you a lot. So, Aaron Hodges says, Aaron Lucas from Richland Northeast. I cannot say I've ever heard of Aaron Lucas. And am I a bad fan for that? I can't say I've ever heard of Aaron Lucas. Lucas is the new coach replacing Mike Peterson. Again, why have I never heard of Aaron Lucas? Like, I've literally never heard of Aaron Lucas in my entire life. Am I missing something? Like, yeah, I don't know. I guess that was maybe that was before my time. Maybe that was before my time. Austin Greer says Kenny McKinley, Debo, and JBJ. That's a good list. It's a really good list. John Rice, favorite Seawell's tailgater. P-Dog, Lance, or John?
Call from
Great question.
Brian Lattimore.
Brian, what's up, man? How are you?
Not too bad. How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. Appreciate you asking. What's going on?
Not too much. Just wanted to call and give you something to talk about for a few minutes. Which team do you think shows up tonight?
The one we got. And I don't think that'll be good enough to win.
It's almost like a coin flip. You never know which version of the team you're going to get. It's either a really bad one or a really good one. It doesn't seem like we have much in between.
I mean, I hear you, but we're 13-14. So I think we've seen the bad one more often than the good one, quote unquote, the good one. So, I mean, this team has lost back-to-back midweeks to the Citadel and PC. Like, how could you pick them to beat UNC? How could anybody? You know what I mean? How could anybody?
Because nothing this season makes sense. That's why.
Again, I mean, I hear you, man. I mean, I know you're referencing the Vandy and the Texas series, and that's all fine and dandy, but I just.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I don't anticipate a win by any means, but
like I said before, over the course of the season, yeah, I think there will be some some bright spots because it's baseball. It's just random, but I think when the dust settles, we'll look back and say that was just an inconsistent, painfully inconsistent, not very good baseball team. And that's unfortunate, but I think that will be the story.
yeah, for the longest time, there was 3 guarantees in the world of like death taxes and Carolina baseball being good. It kind of sucks that we lost one of those.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does, man. Baseball season just sucks as a whole right now.
Yeah. So with that being said, because I don't want to talk baseball anymore, I'll talk football for a minute. Throw some questions your way. So what do you think our biggest weaknesses going into the season on both offense and defense?
I mean, I think it's got to be. I think it's got to be line of scrimmage on both. I mean, I guess maybe I'd say linebacker on defense because, God, I don't remember the last time we were really good at linebacker. It's been quite. I mean, we've had some guys. Don't get me wrong, but I look at linebacker this season again. Kind of look how I looked at it last year, where it's like, I mean, I think Sherrod Green's return will be great, but. I think we're going to be asking Stone Blanton to play a big role as a true freshman. So I think that's another reason why you saw the run defense was so porous. I mean, we're just not above average at the linebacker position as far as I've seen. And then, offensive line, it's got to be the number one question. It just has to be. I mean, after the way you played last year and the way you couldn't run the ball, I know you got your top 8 guys coming back, and normally in that situation, you would feel like, you would feel really confident about your offensive line. But, people talk about experience, and experience is important, but I think experience can be overvalued. Because it's like, if you have experience, but it's bad experience, like they're not very good players. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not saying that's even the case with the O-line. I mean, this is an O-line that's played good football, but they didn't last year. So you got to hope and pray that, they second year in the system, it really was a schematic thing and they're able to play much better. But yeah, I'd say O-line and probably linebacker will be my biggest question marks on each side at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with you. And, you mentioned the D-line at first. I look at both lines as 2 areas, other than your quarterback position, that's kind of obvious, glaring you in the face. But line of scrimmage on both sides, I think, have to be your most improved areas of your football team if you want to have any success next year. Mm-hmm. Your offensive line, you have obvious limitations there because you just don't have high caliber guys. You have some guys with experience, like you said, but they're not. I don't look at them and be, thrilled about the fact that those are the guys that we have protecting our quarterback. Outside of Dylan Wallum, maybe. I can't think of another guy that really, is a quality guy that I would like to be filling the position. So, but the defensive line, on the other hand, I look at that completely different. Mm-hmm. If those guys don't show up and show out this year, I don't know if it's a coaching thing or maybe those guys are just overvalued. I mean, you got 2 5-stars.
I mean, what do you think about last year? I mean, what do you think about last year? I mean, the O-line, the D-line, I thought underachieved last year.
Yes, they did.
I mean, or underachieved or wasn't as good as we thought they were.
That's why I consider them a position group that has to show out this year. That has to be, one of your most improved areas on your team as a whole. Mm-hmm. Because you got way too much talent sitting on that line to not get results.
At least that's what we think. I mean, talking to Brad Lawing, I mean, that's the D-line guru. I mean, we were hanging our hat on JJ Nigbari, and I'm not trying to use today's show to like slam him or anything, but call it for what it is. Brad Lawing wasn't really a fan of JJ Nigbari. Didn't think he was very good. Believe it or not, that's a guy that Gamecock fans, were hanging their hat on. And I mean, he actually had a pretty good point when you look at JJ's stats last year and who they came against. I mean, he had 2 sacks against. I mean, shoot, I can pull it up. He had let's see. He had 2 sacks against, I believe. Here we go, 2021. Yeah, 2 sacks against East Carolina, 1 against Tennessee, 1 against, or excuse me, those are tackles for loss, my bad. 2 sacks against ECU, half a sack against Georgia, 1 against Tennessee, and 1 against Vandy. I mean, it's not like he had some crazy good year. You know what I mean? Like, and his point was just 3 of his 4.5 sacks came against East Carolina and Vanderbilt. You know what I mean? Like, so, and again, I'm not trying to use today to like slam the guy, but yeah, I mean, our D-line was not what we hoped it was going to be last year. And again, that is that, the numbers tell the story. You couldn't stop the run. Bottom line, you just couldn't stop the run.
Yeah, obviously we're kind of looking at it and we're cherry picking that one specific thing. And I'm sure there's a lot of other things that go into it as well. Lack of offensive production never helps the defense. The fact that they go out there, time and time again and ask to do their job, they get tired, and it kind of affects your production. Whereas, if you have some kind of offensive stability, those guys have a chance to rest in between going out there to do their part. You might get a little bit of better, product on the field. So I'm hoping that revitalizing some offense this season will help those guys, help those guys go out there and do what they're supposed to do and, really shine.
I mean, yeah, it's a team game. I'll say this. I mean, listen, I think there's a point to be made about, defenses get tired, worn out. I think too much is made, though, about, well, you get blaming the offense for the defense's struggles. I mean, I get it. But I don't think the offense – I don't think the offense was great last year by any stretch, but, I mean – I don't know. That's not like the first thing I look at as far as, I mean, yeah, you can't lose time of possession and have the defense out there the entire game for sure. But I just feel like I've been hearing that like the last 3-4 years of counter football. Well, it's the offense's fault. The defense is tired. And it's like, maybe the defense should make a stop. I don't know. You want to get off the field? Then get off the field. Make a stop. I mean, like,
Yeah. I mean, you're definitely right. It's more of a fourth quarter thing. The offensive production just sucks the whole game. Fourth quarter, I could see him getting tired. You can't really make that excuse for the beginning half of the game for sure.
Yeah,
but,
I mean, we definitely got to be better offensively. That's a given. That's a given.
But again, I go back to my original point: is if you don't get some kind of I'd say higher than an average defensive output this year, defensive line coach got to be on a hot seat. Because like I said, he's got way too much talent back there. Way too much talent. You can't argue that you don't have guys. You got guys. You got guys that somebody decided were guys. And, whether it be the analysts that rank them as 5 stars or 4 stars or whatever, or, you decided to put them out there as the best players on your team. So, multiple facets have claimed that these guys are the best guys we have on our team. And, highly coveted coming out of high school. So you got to have some kind of production there. It's just bottom line. There's no excuse for it.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, I agree 100%. D-line's got to be better. Got to stop the run. Got to stop the run more effectively.
Yeah. And, you got to find ways to mitigate your weaknesses, too. You have to identify your weaknesses, and you have to figure out how you can, whether it be scheme around them or, whatever the case may be. So hopefully, like having quality quarterback out there, receivers to catch the ball, offensive production, again, should help the quarterback, O-line do their part.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping, a little bit of assistance there can kind of bring your weakest part of the team up, take some pressure off of those guys, whether it be, pro-style scheme. I think about our scheme being kind of like a Saints-style offense. I don't know how many Saints games you ever watched, with Drew Brees, but that's all they did was they, 5-yard passes down the field over and over and over again, screen passes, run the ball. Drew Brees wasn't known for the long ball. They pick you apart all game long. And that's kind of how I envision our offense being. Of course, Spencer has the ability to do the long pass, and I'm sure we'll see it. But I really just want to have some consistency on that side of the ball and just prove that we can move it on anybody at any time.
Well, my guy, if we could do that, we'd probably win every game. I mean,
yeah.
Hey,
I'm down with that.
Yeah. I mean, I think our biggest area where it's going to take time, we have to improve is up front on both sides. Because you watch us play Georgia, you watch us play A&M, you watch us play Clemson. We got bullied. We just got bullied in the trenches. So that's where I think we've got to change recruiting. We got good players, sure, but I don't remember the last time we brought a 5-star lineman in, offensive lineman. So that's where the game's won and lost is in the trenches. I mean, still at the end of the day, as much as football may change, I've said this many times, the team that if you can physically take a man and move him out of the way and move him where you want him to go, you're going to beat a lot of people. So, but yeah, I'll be interested to see what the offensive scheme is like for sure. I mean, you've added all these pieces. So there's no excuse. There's no excuse not to have offensive success this year. I think we all agree with that.
Yeah. I'm not sure we've ever brought in a 5-star offensive lineman. I mean, obviously there's not too many of them out there, but I can't think of one.
We have, but it's been a little bit for sure. Yeah.
Hell, I can't even tell you the highest 4-star we brought in. It's been very few and far between, that we've got quality guys on the offensive line. So.
Right.
Yeah, you hope for the best, of course. So all you can do is kind of scheme around who you got and go out there and put a product on the field.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. I mean, again, I'm excited, man. Again, I'm excited. The uncertainty is what makes it great. So.
Yeah, I mean, I really think some of the games that we go out there and we get ahead with, we gotta get Luke Doty some reps. I truly think that. He deserves to be the face of the program, come 2023, when Spencer Rattler moves on. I find it hard to believe that we're going to get, too many freshmen playing time this year and that they're going to take over the program next year. If they do, and they're quality guys, so be it. But, I think it's hard to argue that it's not Luke Doty's spot to be taken.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. Yeah. I mean, that's going to be one of the storylines for sure of the season is, just who develops behind Spencer. Because, I mean, we're going to be right here this time next year trying to figure out who the quarterback is. So that's a good point because, the plan is Rattler's going to be a 1-year deal. So.
I don't want to be thinking about it. I want to know that we have a guy behind him that is able to go out there and lead this team.
Well, I don't think you're going to know, my guy. I don't think you're going to know. I mean, I don't really want to see another quarterback besides Rattler play this year. Like you said, unless we're up by 50 or up by 30 or whatever. But I mean, I don't think shredding a Georgia State in garbage time is going to tell me. I don't know. I mean, there's going to be competition. But again, I like the way they're recruiting at the position. I mean, I like Luke a lot, but I like Tanner Bailey. I like Braden Davis, Gauthier. I mean, I think you got quality options. Just got to develop guys, and somebody's got to step up and win the job. And I don't know. I would predict a year from today, I don't think you'll know the starting quarterback going through spring ball. I think it'll be open competition. Just if I had to guess, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, if I had to guess,
Well, let me ask you a question. Have they even named a starter for this year yet?
I mean, my guy, do you have a brain? Do we have a brain? I mean, we know who the starter
No,
is.
I'm asking.
Right. They haven't. Yeah. No, they haven't. They haven't. No, they haven't. They haven't.
You know the answer.
Right.
But they haven't named.
No, they haven't. They haven't named one. I understand what they're doing. They're promoting competition, but I mean.
But to answer your previous question, it couldn't be any more glaring in your face of who the guy is, and they still haven't named him. So of course, next year this time we're not going to know.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know that it'll be quite as glaring. But dude, honestly, here's the thing: the transfer portal's just changed everything. So our starting quarterback next year, he might not be on the roster right now. We might go pick up another guy. So, I mean, who knows? Who knows?
May not be on the roster next year.
Yeah. I mean, you think about it in college football, man, with the pressure to win, it's like, who would you rather hand the keys to the car to? An unproven freshman or a guy who's played college football? You know what I mean? Like, I think that's probably how coaches are starting to think. Like, hey, I got to win now. I don't have time to take my licks with this young guy. I mean, and, you know, you can love it or hate it, but I feel like that's kind of where college football is going. I mean, the transfer portal is just becoming so prevalent.
100%.
Yeah.
I'm a betting man, and I think that I'd be surprised if we don't see either Tanner Bailey or Braden Davis transfer. One of the two. At some point.
Guys want to play. I mean, there's no doubt guys want to play. So, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be very interesting to see how it shakes up. You know, the transfer portal, I don't think it affects any other team in a more positive output than it does, you know, a team like ours. You know, a team that has a high ceiling but is struggling to get there. You know, you now have another complete open pathway to go get guys to come in and compete.
Yeah,
I think it's awesome. You know, the transfer portal has definitely helped us a lot more than it's helped some other teams.
Oh yeah, no, for sure, man, for sure. I agree. I mean, I think we've already seen it. We're using the portal to our advantage. So
yeah, we're going to reap the benefits come fall. You know, I think anything short of 8-4 is going to be a disappointment. You know, as much as I want to win every game and want to be realistic, you know, it's hard to fathom we go 7-5 next year with all the talent we brought in.
So what do you think? I mean, 8-4 or better, I would assume.
I think 8-4 is that sweet spot. I'm not going to say that I wouldn't expect, or you know, I wouldn't be upset if we went 7-5. You know, I think it's a little bit shy of where we should be. I think 8-4 is that sweet spot. You know, I'm not going to say we're going to go out there and be 10-2. You know, it's hard to be realistic and think that. You know, there's just so many teams on our schedule that we just haven't beat in a long time.
And again, the point I keep trying to make, everybody else got better too. It's not like we're the only team that added some good players. Like, so did everybody else. So, I mean, 10-2, my guy, I can think of Georgia, A&M, and Clemson are all losses right now. So I don't know how anybody could say with a straight face we're going to go 10-2. Those are losses off the jump. And again, it's kind of like I said last year. So what you're saying, even if you say 9-3, what you're saying is Carolina's going to lose the 3 I just mentioned, and they're going to win every single toss-up game they play in. I mean, I agree at some point you have to break through and win games you're not supposed to win. And I can't wait until that day happens. I can't wait. But that feels so aggressive. Like, it feels so aggressive.
It's the fact that, you know, at some point you break that barrier, right? You know, and that brought a lot of pieces in this year. It's hard to believe that, you know, if you're going to have a time to break that barrier, you're expected to lose those 3 games that you mentioned. Sure, of course. The game's not played on purpose. I mean, dude, we go back 2-3 years ago, whatever it was, we beat Georgia. Were we supposed to win against Georgia? Hell no. We were 20-plus point underdogs. Bottom line is it can happen. You know, you have a lot of talent on this team. It's going to go out there, and it's going to surprise some people. So I would not be surprised if there wasn't a game or two that we won, we were not supposed to win. The biggest question mark I have on my plate is, can we go out there and win the games we're supposed to win? Not have any kind of, big upsets.
Mm.
And then the swing games, of course, you have to go out there and compete. It's going to be tough. You're not going to win all of them. Like Tennessee is one that I circled. It's, God, I don't want to watch that game because I just know how good they've gotten, really quickly. A lot of people don't give them the credit that they deserve, and I think Tennessee is a team that I give more credit to than a Kentucky. Even though Kentucky went 10-2 this year, I don't know if it was luck or they just played the right cards. I don't think they're a 10-2 team. That's just me personally. I watched a lot of their games last year. Sure, they were good. They weren't 10-2 good. That's just my opinion. So I don't see Kentucky as a game that you should lose next year. I think if nothing else, it's a coin flip. You should win that game.
I think it's a toss-up. I mean, I think that's fair. I think it's a toss-up.
The bottom line is you got to go out there and show that you can win the toss-ups. And I'm just hoping that we're better than a lot of people are giving us credit for. Of all the pieces you bring in and the hype surrounding the program, you got to live up to the expectations, and that's the hard part. So, obviously you have to wait for it to pick up, but games aren't won and lost.
Yeah, I'll say this, and I'll dive into this a lot more over the summer when I start talking predictions and all that. 7-5 or better. Just to, I know this is sort of a blanket statement, whatever. 7-5 or better. Year 2, I'm happy with it. I'm fine with that. I know you added a piece of 7-5 or better with a chance to win an 8th or whatever in a bowl game. I think the trajectory is still positive. I just, when Beamer was hired, I looked at it as a long haul type deal, and I didn't think, if you're not winning 10 games by year 3, we got to look. Nah, SEC's tough. I know at some point you got to break through. 7-5 or better. Like you said, I think if you go 8-4, again, I'd sign up for an 8-4 year right now. I think that's a great year. So, but like I said, I respect Gamecock fans, and I understand the feeling of, like if you go 6-6, you don't really feel like you got the return on investment from a Spencer Rattler that you thought you were going to get. I totally understand that.
Let's put it this way. If we go 7-5 next year, my output, my opinion on how the season went will be 100% based on how we lost those 5 games.
Yeah.
We go out there and we lose 38-35. I could live with that, against a quality team. But damn, if we get blown out by 3 touchdowns against Clemson, I'm still going to be kind of on the fence there because, you got to get closer at some point. And I don't think we're that far off talent-wise at this point. Clemson's still a better team on paper, but we're closing that gap quickly. You got to have a more competitive output on the field. Is the bottom line. 30-0, that shit ain't gonna fly.
How about 7-5 with a win over Clemson? You calling that a successful year?
A massive success.
Yeah, this fan base desperately needs a win in that game. Yeah, this fan base desperately needs a win in that game. Just call it for what it is. Bottom line.
I'm so tired of seeing Clemson at the top. I don't even necessarily care if we beat them. I was just so happy to see that they were mortal last year. So I kind of hope that trend continues. I don't care if they have a good year, but damn, I'm tired of seeing them in the national championship game. Tired of seeing them in the playoff. It sucks whenever your sibling across the state is just finding this massive success, and you're just trying to dig yourself out of the trash can. That sucks.
Yeah, for sure, my guy. Hey, I get it.
Hopefully we can, if nothing else, I'm not saying I expect a win, but if nothing else, it's just got to be competitive. That's the biggest thing that I'm looking for this year is being competitive. The record's going to let it, it's going to play out how it plays out. But I just want, I just want to watch the games and be engaged in them. feeling of cardiac Cox. Big game. Big time feelings. Let there be excitement in those games. I can't stand to watch another Texas A&M game where they blow us out 45-7.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
So, with that said, I know you only got 10 minutes left. I'll let you go, man. I'll catch you another time.
Brian, I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for the banter, man. Awesome stuff there from Brian Lattimore. That was fun. Guys, we are going to jump into one final break. I know I'm taking a late break, but we're going to do it. Final 5 minutes coming up on the other side. More of your questions, comments, calls, and more. You're tuned in to the Daily Crow. All right, guys, we're back. Final couple minutes or so here on the Daily Crow. Wednesday, April the 6th, 2022. Again, guys, it is game day. South Carolina baseball taking on UNC tonight. Aaron Thompson says breaks. Bleeding out the eyeballs. Aaron, we take 3 breaks over the course of a 2-hour show. Tough crowd, I guess. Tough crowd. Travis Allen, Chris, my biggest concern, special teams going to miss Parker White. You know, that is something nobody's talking about. That is a big deal, Travis. That is a big deal. I mean, you know, you got to replace Parker White, veteran kicker. You don't realize how valuable those guys are. Kickers. You don't realize how valuable, you know, kickers and punters and all that, your specialists are until you don't have a good one. Jesse Dunn, late getting on, so if you already touched on this, ignore it. How long is Sat's leash this year? Should the offense continue to ride the struggle bus if production and consistency goes down or stays the same? Is he retained? No, I don't think so. I listen, if we go 6-6, I think Satterfield's fired. You know, because I don't think the defense will take that big of a step back. I don't see that at all. I think most likely Satterfield is relieved of his duties. Brandon Kuhn, in the last 8 seasons, we are 0-8 against A&M, 1-7 against Kentucky, 1-7 against Georgia, and 0-7 against Clemson. Yeah, that's brutal, my guy. That's brutal. I mean, yeah, you bring that stat up. That is tough when you put it. Yeah, when you put it in writing, that is really tough. But that's the reality. And you know what Brian Lattimore said. You know, those trends just have to change. At some point, they've got to change. John Kruger says, amazing for Parker White that he went from a walk-on to a scholarship player to one of the best in the country. Yeah, truly, John. Truly. Parker White's a legend, my guy. Truly. All-time points leader. I mean, a GOAT. Truly a GOAT. So, again, guys, quick reminder, check out the podcast that dropped this morning, a full breakdown of tonight's game against UNC, but more importantly, I would say, conversation with Gamecocks quarterback Luke Doty. Really appreciate Luke taking the time. We had a fantastic convo about just his career, of course, last season, how spring ball's going, looking ahead to the spring game, the 2022 season, all that good stuff, guys. Again, I highly suggest you check that out. John Kruger, the best kick Parker will be known for. I don't know, John, that's a great question. La Tech was a big one. I mean, I think the game winner at East Carolina was obviously a big one. I think that's one that folks will remember. So those two really jump out for sure. Those two really, really jump out, in my opinion. So, but great conversation, great banter with Brian Lattimore. And like I said, guys, I would totally understand Gamecock fans. I would totally understand Gamecock fans feeling disappointed and let down with a 6-6 record. I would. I would totally understand that. So. Yep. I would totally understand that. John Kruger says, White, Suck Up, Fry, and Lanning. Yeah, all greats. You mentioned all greats there, John. We love specialists here on this show. Big fan of specialists. Guys, we've hit 2 o'clock. Appreciate you all tuning in. Like I said, guys, check out the podcast that dropped this morning and stay tuned to all of the content, of course, guys, as we cover everything with Gamecocks baseball. We're live tonight, of course, at Tin Roof as well in the Vista. So we'd love to see you guys out there. 6 o'clock, we'll go live. And we'll stay live till about first pitch or just slightly after. But going to be a really, really good time. Guys, again, I'm out of here. Appreciate you all tuning in. Go Cox. Beat UNC. And we will talk to you live tonight from 10.